All right, welcome everyone. This is the tarot forecast for this week of April 7th. All right, that's what we're doing today. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology that's happening, and then I'm going to pull cards around it. And if you are here on this live stream, feel free to post your questions and I'll do some readings for everyone who shows up. But I mean, myself personally, I like to kind of take a look at the astrology for the week and then sometimes pull some cards on it to get some insight on what might be going on. So what we have going on this week of April 7th, we have got Mercury direct. Mercury is stationing right now as I'm talking to you, and that's probably why I'm on this live stream right now, because I'm like jumping out of my skin. I have a very strong Mercury in Virgo, and normally Mercury retrogrades don't really bother me, but occasionally these like stations retrograde and stations direct will kind of electrify me, and that's what's happening right now. So that's why I'm talking to you right now. So we've got Mercury direct, and that is Monday. And like I said, Mercury stationing right now as I'm talking to you. We also have Mercury is going to be conjunct the North Node, and that is on Thursday. So yeah, the North Node of Fate, Mercury and the North Node of Fate. There could be some important messages coming through this week. Important messages, because Mercury is the messenger and he is the only god that can go back and forth between the living and the dead. And then Friday we have Mars trine the North Node. Oh my goodness. Mars trine the North Node. And that's Friday. So this is like where fated things can happen. Fated events. And with the trine, maybe. Maybe it's smooth, maybe it's not. I mean, I'm just in this space right now where it's like every other sentence out of my mouth is I don't know. So bear with me. We're going to pull some cards and try to get some clarity, because this Mercury retrograde has been something now, and Mars retrograde has been something, and it's direct now. But it's still in Cancer, and it's getting to the very last degrees before it goes back into Leo. And it's a little wild out there. It's a little wild. And then Saturday we have the full moon in Libra. And that's on Saturday. And that is also the time of Venus station direct. So finally, we've had Mercury retrograde, we've had Venus retrograde. They're finally going direct, people. They're finally going direct. So, yeah, I don't know if I should tell you what's been going on with me, or ask you what's been going on with you. I don't know, but let me just pull some cards, and then maybe if anybody's here or nobody's here, I'll talk about myself. I don't know that I want to talk about myself. So anyway, all right. So let's talk about Mercury direct. Let's look at Mercury direct. Okay. So Mercury direct. All right. So okay. So let's pull a card for the retrograde, and it's like the retrograde card is like what you were supposed to be looking at more closely. And now that Mercury is direct, what mental activity should you be engaging in going forward? This is happening this week, Monday. Let me put Monday right here so you know. I'm talking about Monday. All right, let's shuffle some cards. Ooh, doggy. Ooh, doggy. All right. Mercury retrograde. Mercury direct. So Mercury went retrograde in Aries, and it's going direct in Pisces. All right, so Mercury retrograde, we have the success card. And for Mercury direct, we have the 3 of Wands. So we've got 2 wands. So this is retrograde, this is direct. Okay. So with this retrograde here, Mercury retrograde, this was all about success. And maybe like how you see success. What does success mean to you? And now that it's going direct, this is about planning your future. It's interesting that it's like this Mercury retrograde started in Aries. So this is an Aries card. And this is a Leo card, I believe. Let me see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, this is a Leo card. So, okay. But they're both fire signs. And Mercury retrograde has been happening in fire signs. So when we're talking about wands and when we're talking about fire signs, we're talking about inspiration, we're talking about motivation, and we're talking about action. So this is, and then right now we're in Aries season. So this is all about, I am and I do. They always say Aries is I am, but it could equally be I do. I do. It's like, what are you doing right now? What are you doing to move the ball down the field? Okay, move the ball down the field. So with this Mercury station direct, we are very future focused. And it's like, what do you want your future to look like? Where do you see this all going? Where do you want to go? That's just simply the question. Where do you want to go, and what actions are you going to take? What actions are you going to take to get you there? Because the whole point of this thing was about like success and what it means to you. So that's pretty strong Mercury energy there. So yeah, so if anybody has any personal questions on that, we can look at that. But I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to move on to something else here. So we've got Mercury conjunct the North Node. So we've got Mercury conjunct the North Node, and that is on Thursday. So let me pull a card for that. Mercury conjunct the North Node. So the nodes of the moon, and that's what makes the eclipses happen. It's like wherever the nodes are, that is where the moon goes up and down across the ecliptic, and that's what causes eclipses. So eclipses are fated change points. There can be a lot of like changes of direction. This is an opportunity for me to talk about myself. I don't want to, but I'm going to. Oh my God. So in March we had 2 eclipses. One was in Aries and it finished up a cycle. And then we had one that was in Virgo. That was the start of the new cycle. But anyway, Aries is my 4th house. And so we've had these Aries Libra eclipses for a year and a half. And so one of the things that could happen is like with those kind of eclipses is you could be moving. And I kept saying, I'm not moving, I'm not moving, I'm not moving. Well, the eclipses came around and suddenly it's like, I'm moving. I just got to be in my bonnet. I got to download that I need to move. I need to change my setting. I need to move to a different neighborhood. And it was just I'm still reeling from it. I really am. It's like I got the download. I called a realtor that I know. I looked at houses. I put an offer in on one. It fell through. But it's just like it all happened so fast. Aries, it happened so fast. I was like, what the bleep just happened right now? So I'm still on the road to finding a house, but that's just, I just wanted you to know about eclipse energy and nodal energy and what can happen. And it's not always like that. Every eclipse is not going to hit you like that. That's absolutely true. It's not everyone is going to, but sometimes they do. And when they do, you're like, oh my God, what just happened? Okay, so we want to know about Mercury and that North Node, which is, that the North Node is kind of I'm going to draw a little picture. The North Node is kind of like the Pac-Man. Like this is the Pac-Man and he's eating the dots. He's very hungry. And so is the North Node. He is hungry. He wants to eat things. He wants to expand. He wants to grow. He wants to move into new territory. He wants to do all these things. That is the North Node. So the danger with the North Node is that you expand kind of like beyond your capacity. Or you're so hell-bent on getting what you want that you'll just, demolish anything and anyone in your way. It's kind of like the rags to riches story, but it's like, it's kind of like the classic Hollywood thing, and it's like, oh, you get the fame and the fortune and stuff, but you end up in ruins. And I'm not trying to like scare people, but it's very strong energy. The nodal energy is very strong energy. Okay. All right. So let me flip a card and stop yapping. So we need to know about this Mercury and the North Node on Thursday, which is going to be in Pisces. So Mercury doesn't like to be in Mercury is not in a good necessarily in good shape, but Mercury is in a kind of a dreamy spot with the North Node in Pisces. So what is Mercury dreaming about on Thursday? What is Mercury dreaming about on Thursday? All right, Mercury dreaming. Okay, Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is like these are complicated issues. This has twists and turns, which matches with the nodes. So. All right, so there's something kind of complicated, and so we need to know more about that. And you need to take a break from it, whatever that might be. So if there's something that is like, it's just getting too complicated, it's getting too like, you're like, I can't wrap my head around this, or like, I don't understand what's going on, or I can't trust the parties involved or something like that. This Mercury North Node is like telling you to take a step back. So in my case, this is probably this house hunt thing. I feel like I need to regroup at this point. I've been looking for 4 or 5 weeks, and I feel like it's time to regroup because I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like reassess. Mercury could be like the list. It's like because Mercury can be checklists. It's like, what's the list? What's the list of things that I'm looking for? And in your case, what are the list of things that you're looking for, that you need, or that you want? And they're in this very nebulous Pisces realm. So yeah, wow. Okay, that's a pretty powerful message there on that. Mercury North Node. Okay. All right. Okay. And so then after that, on Friday we have Saturn. I mean, not Saturn. Where do these words come from? It's Mars. Mars trine the North Node. Okay, that's on Friday. So it's another nodal aspect. Okay, so this is You know, we're invoking the Pac-Man again, but this time it's with Mars, but like before he leaves Cancer. Before he leaves Cancer. So since Mars is in Cancer, I'm going to say it has something to do with your home or your security, your nesting instinct. You know, like the nest. Mercury. I mean, Cancer is so much just the little nest with the little birds poking their heads out, going, "Feed me, feed me." You know, it's like that. So what's going on with that? You know, with, like I said, this is a free-flowing aspect. The danger here is that you could just slide into something that is not appropriate, and you're just like, oh, but it was so easy to just slide down the hill. It's like, you know, when like a hill has snow on it and it's slippery, it's really easy to just freaking slide down it, even if you didn't mean to. Now, if you have a sled and you mean to slide down the hill, that's one thing, but sometimes you just slide down the hill and you didn't mean to slide down the hill. So, interesting week. I'm kind of working out a lot of stuff for myself as we're talking. Okay, Mars trying the North Node. What do we need to know here? We've got the Seven of Pentacles, which is, you know, this is just the big weight card. Weight. So I would say don't take any like quick actions this week because we're getting the signal to wait. Why do we need to wait? Because of the Hangman. Because we don't know. We're not sure. Things are kind of stuck. And so let me pull one more card. Yeah. So that the Knight of Swords. So yeah, so this Knight of Swords just really wants to go full guns, but we're getting the signal to wait and just wait for things to develop. And the Hangman is in the middle here saying, I'm gonna make you stuck. I'm gonna make you stuck. So, and that makes sense with this Mars in Cancer. I mean, it's you know, it's Mars in a water sign, so it's a little bogged down. It's a little bogged down. Whew. All right. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Maybe I'll check and see if anybody's here. So just hang on. Let me see if I remember how to find out if anybody's here. How do I find out? There's some way where I see the chat. Where is it? I don't know where it is. I don't know. Golly. I thought there was a chat right here. That's weird. I don't know where it is. Full screen. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've live streamed, so it's like I don't remember how it works. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't see anything where I see where the chat is. That's so weird, because there used to be like a little thing you would like hit it and see where the chat's at. I don't see it, so I'm just going to keep going. So if you're here and you want a reading, hang on, because eventually I will figure it out. But let's finish the forecast. All right, so lastly, we have a full moon in Libra on Saturday, and that is also the same time as Venus station direct. So Venus is retrograde for 40 days and 40 nights, and so now that's coming to an end. But yeah, okay, let's just get there. Okay, so like I said, we just had this final eclipse in Aries, which closed out the Libra Aries eclipse cycle that lasted for a year and a half. That was the cycle where my dad died. My dad passed away. I remember when that cycle came in, he started to fall into ill health, and I was like, okay, is this it? Is this the cycle that takes out my dad? It was. So he died in 2023 at the beginning of that eclipse cycle. So it's been an interesting, ooh, my ear just finally unplugged. Oh, that's so weird. Oh my God. My ear has been plugged up. I'm having like allergies, and it's like it goes into my ears, like the congestion, and it's been bothering me for several days. And then it's like finally when I talk about my dad passing away during that cycle, it just cleared out. It's like I can hear normal now. I don't feel like I'm underwater anymore. That is so bizarre. That is bizarre. Okay, whatever. Okay. Oh my God. All right, let's move on. Full moon. Full moon. All right, what do we need to know about the full moon? What's the full moon about? What's this full moon in Libra? You know, Libra is about relationships with other people, self and other, blah, 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 blah. And so we've got during this Aries season here, we've got a lot of stuff getting stirred up on the world stage and perhaps in your personal life. I don't know. So what do we need to know about this full moon that's happening on Saturday in Libra? Okay, the full moon. So, you know, we have this idea of this opposition with the full moon with a 2. And it's the 2 of Pentacles. So it's about, you know, stability and support and like the material world. And so it's like, yeah, we're trying to balance, probably trying to balance something in the material world. You know, if it is about relationships, it could be about like financial contributions of both parties. So it's like, if you're in a relationship, it's like, okay, are you contributing as much as I'm contributing, kind of thing? Or if it's, you know, something like I said was something that I'm dealing with, it was like real estate contracts. It's like, okay, are we getting a balance? Are we getting a balance between buyer and seller? Are we able to, like, you know, or are we at odds? Or are we at odds, and are we butting heads? So, so that's what the full moon looks like. So the best approach to dealing with this situation of the full moon, this 9 is talking about anxiety around it. And the Page of Pentacles is saying it's a good idea to do your research and to check things out and to like double check things. So like if somebody tells you something, don't just take their word for it. You need to double check that information. And with it being a pentacle, I'm saying it's something that you need to actually put your hands on. So it's not like, oh, Google it. You know what I mean? Because that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, like, if somebody says, I don't know, your such and such is broken, then you need to go look at that. Even if you're not an expert in whatever it is, like, let's pretend it's your air conditioning. Because I live here in Texas, and it be getting warm now, and you know, we need to be thinking about our air conditioning. Even though today it's like 60 degrees, it's so nice. Oh my God, it's so nice. But you know, it's like if the AC guy says, hey, your such and such on this thing is broken, you need to go look at it. You need to go, hey, show me that thing that you're saying is broken, and go look at it. Go look at it and go, is it really broken or not? You know, and then, like I said, you're not an AC expert. I'm not an AC expert, but there's going to be certain things that people might try to like just get by you. So you need to verify. That's all I'm saying. You need to verify. And so don't be stressed out about it. Just verify. just just verify. And so I think that's what this full moon is about, is like, if there's any issues that come up, like, verify it, just verify it. Now, the Venus retrograde, like I said, is coming to an end. So, Venus is, that's about relationships too, and it's about like what you prefer, and uh, what you're willing to give and what you want to receive, and it's about the good things in life, and all of these things. So it's interesting that Venus will just still be retrograde during the full moon, and she goes direct just right after. So, but she is in Pisces, where she's exalted, and evidently you can see Venus in the morning now. I've been meaning to go out and look. It's been cloudy, then like this morning it was clear, and I forgot to go look and see if I could see Venus in the morning. You might be able to see Venus and Mercury in the morning in the east before sunrise if you look. I haven't looked yet. So anyway, that's my point is, that's good because Venus is visible. She's in an exalted sign. And even if she is still technically retrograde at the full moon, I think she's in kind of a good position. So let me take a sip of water here. Okay, so Venus station direct. What do we need to know about Venus station direct? All right, so here we have another 2, and it's about decisions and about balancing things. So the 2 is saying like, hey, there's a decision to make, but you don't necessarily need to make it right now. So that's a message for me, because it's, once again, I don't know if I want to talk about myself, but I'm going to. With this whole house thing, I put in an offer, but it actually didn't get submitted. And then I saw another house that I might like, and so I told my agent, I'm like, yeah, I want to see that house tomorrow. And she's like, cool. And she goes, so you want me to hold that offer? And I was like, yeah. I thought she had already submitted it, because I was kind of worried about that. Obviously, you can rescind offers. You can just go, no, I'm withdrawing that offer. It's not a big deal, but I'm the kind of person that it's like, I don't want people to think I'm a weirdo and I'm a flake, and it kind of annoys people when you do things like that. But like, who cares? But I do care. So anyway, I was happy that offer didn't get submitted yet. And so this is kind of telling me, so far what we've seen is like, it's telling me to take a step back this week. And so maybe you need to take a step back on something. And so, this Venus stationing is saying like, yep, there's a decision to be made, but if you're not ready to make it, it's okay. And so the best advice here is, yep, pick your battles. With the 5 of Swords, pick your battles. So you can't win every fight. You got to pick your battles. And so that's super interesting too. Because I just sent an email earlier today where I was poking the bear on something. And I was like, should I send this or not? And I was like, I'm doing it. Screw it. I'm doing it. I may regret it, but whatever. So this is a pick your battles kind of thing. And the 5 of Swords is also about being willing to change your mind. Be willing to change your mind on something. So there we go. That's what we got. That is what this week ahead is looking like. Now let me see if I can figure out, if I can see if there's a chat, and if I see if anybody's here. So let me figure. Let me look. Okay, I'm over here looking. I am out of water. Why did I know? There always used to be this thing where it was like pop out the what the hell? I don't know where it is. people. Looking for the chat. Where I don't know where it is. I'm looking for the chat. Okay. I don't see it. I do not. This is so weird. I don't see it at all. I don't know where it is. Very, very strange. Let me, I'm going to YouTube itself. Let me see if I see it. I'm looking, people. I am looking, looking, looking. I'm looking for the chat in case anybody is. Okay, I see that I'm live. Okay, view and control room. Okay. Okay, all right, I found it. All right, so doesn't look like anybody's here. Okay. All right, so in that case, I am going to end the stream. So enjoy.